Hello, this is question 6 on page 613, just to get you started if you're a bit confused about all this tree diagram stuff. So if you read the question, it's all about Thomas, who's got to take a 3-part language exam paper. He's got speaking, listening and writing to do. And in part A, you're asked to draw a tree diagram covering these 3 events. And it tells you that each of the events is speaking, listening and writing. So those are the 3 different sections of our tree diagram. And it's saying that we're going to look at the probability of him passing or failing each one. So we come to the start of the tree on the left hand side. It's his speaking event. His speaking exam is the first event. He could either pass that or fail that. Now we're told that his chance of passing that part, so his probability of passing the speaking part, is 0.4. And we know then that the chance of him failing is 1 minus 0.4, which is 0.6, because he could either pass or fail. So their probabilities have got to add up to 1. Now moving on to listening, he's got a 0.5 chance of passing. So in the same way as before, we do 1 minus 0.5, it gives us a 0.5 chance of failing. So 50-50 on listening. And for writing, he's got a 0.7 chance of passing and therefore a 0.3 chance of failing. So I can write all those probabilities on the branches. And you'll remember that on each branch, the probabilities must add up to 1. Okay, so that's part A finished. Part B says if he passes all 3 parts, his father will give him $20. So what's the probability that he passes all 3? So we need to go, let me just try and find a different colour. We need to go this route. So we need to do, he's got to pass speaking, then he's got to pass listening, and then he's got to pass writing. So for the probability of getting the $20, he would have to pass speaking and means and, remember and means multiply, pass listening and pass writing, and 0.4 times 0.5 times 0.7 is 0.14. 4 times 5 is 20 times 7 is 140 and 3, yeah, so it's 0.14. Part C then says if he passes only 2 out of the 3, he can resit the other part. So we've got to work out which route would he only fail 1. So he could pass speaking, pass listening, but fail writing. He could pass speaking, fail listening, but pass writing. Or he could fail speaking, pass listening, and pass writing. Any other route you can go through the tree and he'll have more than 1 failure. So we need these 3 route probabilities. So the first one is 0.4 passing speaking times 0.5 passing listening times 0.3, which is failing writing, and so that is going to be 0.6. And he could also, that's not right, hang on, let's just do that on my calculator, my brain's gone a bit funny. 0.4 times 0.5 times 0.3 is 0.06. Yes, 1 decimal point out, beg your pardon. 0.06. The next one would be he could pass speaking and then he could fail listening but then pass the writing, and that is going to be, I'm not trusting myself at the moment, so 0.4 times 0.5 times 0.7, which is 0.14. Or the third option is he could fail the speaking but pass the listening and pass the writing, and so that would be 0.6 times 0.5 times 0.7, which would be 0.21. Because he could do this one or this one or this one, either of those routes would do, we add them up. Remember, as you're going across a tree diagram, you multiply, and then when you've got more than one route, if you're adding, you add them on the way down. So adding these up would give 0.41. Now, part D then says, what happens if he fails all three? Well, if he fails all three, I'm just going to rub this out and give myself some room. If he fails all three, he would fail speaking, there's a 0.6 chance of that. He would fail listening, which is a 0.5 chance of that, and he would fail writing. There is no other combination. He's got to fail all three. There's only one route through the tree, which is this one. So 0.6 times 0.5 times 0.3, which is, I think, 0.09. Oops. 0.6 times 0.5 times 0.3, which is indeed 4.09. So that's the answer to part D.